Since taking over Twitter, Elon Musk has proven to reasonable people that he should not be running a social media company. So now that he's knocked out that, he's gonna take on the financial industry by integrating stock trading with Twitter. Or is he? He's denying it, but there's evidence both ways, so we're gonna dive into it. According to reports, Twitter has been reaching out to financial data firms to partner with one or perhaps several of them, they don't necessarily even know, to turn X, Twitter, into a kind of trading platform with, quote, financial content, real-time stock data, and other features. So what are they offering, like, to the firms that would be partnering with them? Well, they said the ability to reach hundreds of millions of highly qualified users. I don't know what the definition of highly qualified in this context is, and we'll see how long there's hundreds of millions of people on there, but they do not offer any money whatsoever to them. In fact, it seems to imply in the request that they are asking for the financial companies to pay for this. Now, Elon Musk is denying that this is going on. He said no work is being done on this to the best of my knowledge. But that said, he's not that knowledgeable, we found out, so he could just be wrong. Also, I will throw this out as a possibility, and Brett, I wanna know what you think. He could be lying because he constantly does about business all the time. What do you think?
He's equivocating. No work is being done on this to the best of my knowledge. It means it was pitched. He hasn't started phase one yet. This is exactly what he said he wanted to do. He wants it to be a major financial hub. That's what he wants. That's how it would be that. It's fine. Like, the problem with me, this makes sense. I'm happy about this news. It's perfect news. It's the most perfect news you could ever hope for in a bunch of ways. One, like, I'm sad that Twitter's gone the way it was. Now my whole feed is just right-wing D-bags because X gonna give it to you, right? Like, unfortunately. On the other hand, he wants it to be a major financial everything app. But the problem is the way that Twitter changed and his own personal branding, it's not gonna be the everything app for everybody. It's going to be the everything app for like crypto bros. It's gonna be like essentially their equivalent of it's like an incels porn site. Like, it's all the stuff that makes them horny, like crypto, stock trades, bro, right wing stuff, like the government's deep state. Like, it's all of that. I mean, the user count's gonna go down, but the overall usage of the word bro is gonna skyrocket.
And that's where the real money is made, because advertisers want that sort of person above all else. Anyway, to your point about why you might think he's equivocating, here is him just a few weeks ago.
Essentially, if done right, the X would serve people's financial needs to such a degree that over time it would become, I don't know, maybe half of the global financial system.
Wow.
Or some big number. Okay. I'm not sure what the number is, but pretty big. So it would be by far the biggest sort of financial institution. But like I said, not really in the way that people are used to thinking about banks. Just the most efficient database for the thing that is money. Like I said, like, least amount of fraud. Everything's real time. And if it involves money in any way, it can be dealt with seamlessly on one node.
Okay, so just to be clear, he's lying. They're definitely trying to do it. And as many people point out, finally won't even have to switch apps to lose everything in a pump and dump is 100% the response that everyone should have to this. But everything that he said in there is utterly ridiculous. First of all, what does any of this have to do with Twitter? Why would any of this have anything to do with Twitter? You think it's seamless, real time? Your service falls all the time. You want people's like ability to interact with their bank to just go down for days at a time because you fired everyone? What do you mean seamless? You're not even paying rent on your properties. What's seamless about this? And then this is why really dumb or desperate people think that he's smart. He says, and then eventually it becomes 50% of the world financial market. I don't know exactly what the number is. You just pulled it out of your ass. What are you talking about? You're not referencing a study that you did. It's some insane promise that you made. It's the financial promise version of you throwing a rock at a Cybertruck's window. It's just wishful thinking, but he talks about it as if it's a scientific thing. And so people who will never be convinced that he's not a genius think that he's actually saying something.
Okay, so John, you're right, but if someone would have said like, how do I get outside the bubble? Let me just tell you how it works outside that bubble called reason, and you're absolutely right about your argument. But the way it works for the people who traffic in this and finance in like the capitalist world, this is the dominant strategy. Because otherwise, what's he gonna say? We're having a lot of trouble. As soon as you say anything like that, your stock price goes down. You have to. You have to say it's the best thing in the world, and you have to say giant things. The problem is, and the difference between the good the successful investors and the non-successful investors is the successful investors know how to translate that into reality, to de-rose color, to filter out the rose-colored, appraisals of how their future is going to be, and be real about it. But no one in Silicon Valley is going to be like, "Yo, it's going down. It's going bad right now. We're down bad." They're never going to say that.
Yeah, I am sure that there are going to be people who, despite the fact that the Bored Ape coin is at like an all-time low and nobody gives a damn about NFTs anymore, they're still like just desperate for crypto to be the solution. And I get why they're desperate. They don't see traditional means to growing wealth, and so they think if I just worship Elon Musk, somehow I'll become Andrew Tate or something. But it's just not going to happen.
That's the whole that's the entire economic system for them. It is everybody going to a bunch of different like symposia to potentially make money off of other people there. They're all in the same pyramid scheme. That's how it works. And most of the time it fails, but when it succeeds, you end up having Facebook, Google, you have Uber, you have these big ideas that everybody talks that way about the dumbest ideas in Silicon Valley. But occasionally you get one that ends up working, and if you spoke the opposite of that on the way there, you would never get there.
Yeah. Anyway, I just find it
incredibly
frustrating. Like, who is going to want to sign up for this?
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.